Hello, dear friends, my lovely audiences. Welcome to the show, the East West Show, Jack Shaw with Jane TV. By looking at me, you will probably know the Chinese New Year is coming. And by looking at my guests, you will see, well, something important today. Anyway, they're all important. You're welcome to the show. Today with me is my good friend. We go for a long time, Mr. Chris Shahinian. He was the former candidate for California Senate. He is also, in my eye, a social activist all the time and a fighter for justice, in my eye, who I salute all the time. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Good. And to my right side is a wonderful, great man of United States. He is a commander of U.S. Navy for 25 years, now retired, but the glory stays forever. The glory is there. 25 years of excellent service, all the way from E1 to a commander. I can see how much hard work he has put up. I would say the Honorable Mr. Joe Shamas. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I would say Commander Shamas, like that. Good. All right, good. Welcome to the show. Your first time, right?
Yes.
And Mr. Shahinian many, many times already. And I would say that if you recall all the shows putting together, you would already see what kind of individual, a human being Mr. Shahinian is. So to my new friend, Commander Joe Shaman, I would like to invite you, please, give us a little background of yourself, please.
Sure. First of all, thank you for having me on the show. I'm grateful for the opportunity, and I would like to wish almost a Happy New Year to my Chinese family.
All right.
I just want to tell you a little bit about me. I grew up in an orphanage for 12 years, and my mom had passed away when I was 4, and my father couldn't take care of us, so we were kind of sent out. So I grew up in an orphanage, and I learned at a very early age that pretty much you have to depend on yourself to be able to survive in this tough world. Fortunately for me, I immigrated to the United States in 1971. So it's almost 47 years that I've been here. And when I did come, I didn't speak a word of English. I did not, obviously didn't have any money, didn't have any resources.
How old were you then?
I was 14.
Oh.
I was 14.
All
and
right.
I was just almost 15, but we were welcomed by a missionary family that welcomed us into their home.
I see.
And we went to high school, finished high school in a year, because obviously the education level from where I came from, we were very devoted to quality education. And,
sure.
So at basically 16, I just hadn't quite turned 16 yet, I graduated high school. So I worked a little bit. And then at that time, we had the military draft in the United States. And my draft number came up, and I ended up going into the Navy. And because I wasn't a citizen, I couldn't go into any of the fields that they had. So they limited the fields to medical, dental, or being a cook. And I didn't really want to be in the dental field, no disrespect, but that's not my cup of tea. So I chose medicine, and that's the field that I went into.
I see. And then later you moved all the way from E1 to a commander. What a huge miles away difference between, right? Okay.
Yes,
All right,
it was
good, good.
wonderful. Thank you.
And for that, you retired gloriously with honor from U.S. Navy, and now he is running for a U.S. Congress.
Yes.
What a decision, right? We are for you. You know, sir, at the time of election, there is always a chance for me whenever you come on the show, I will bring my audience to the study of the person, himself or herself, because we are gambling. We never know who you are, right?
Of course.
We want to know who you are, what you have done, and how much you can do, something like that. So later in the show, we will check with you step by step. No offense, with all my due respect.
Sure.
I get. So back to Chris. So Chris and I we scheduled the show for the big subject for DACA and the Dreamer, right? Exactly to the situation, Commander Shaman's, his only example is the answer to DACA.
Correct.
Don't you think so?
I think it's a
Don't you think so?
Perfect example.
A child from 12 years of an orphanage, all right, starting age of 14, not one word in English, all the way to a U.S. Navy commander. I would say, oh, by the way, sir, at the time when you were the commander position, how many were under you?
Well, anywhere it ranged from 18 to 20,000.
18 to 20,000.
Huge army.
LASD and the LAPD has
17,000,
LASD, if they are in full,
17,000.
all for 17,000,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And they for soldiers, for cops, they have only 8,500.
Yeah.
For LAPD, they have 9,000 to 11 at a time. That varies.
Yeah.
So you were handling the same amount of soldiers, LASD and the LAPD combined. All right?
Yep.
It's
Great. Yeah.
That's a
Interesting
big
comparison. Thank
man
you.
with big power.
I think you said it right. If we're going to talk about DACA, we need to look at this kind of example that Joe's life and my life and your life put on the line. So I think we can open with discussion with DACA. I'm going to remind you that we started this in October. Remember, we have this discussion. We talked to the audience.
Sure.
And I said, I remember clearly, I said, no one is going to take those kids out of the border. So we're going to find a solution. And it's been like months since then. And it's things getting worse now. And on last September.
Yeah, we'll touch the status quo a little later. I still want to stick to my icon.
Thank you, you're very kind.
My role model.
Thank you.
I want to stretch it to cover the DACA subject. Okay, take DACA for example. Oh no, back it up. Take me myself for example. I've been here for 34 years. I came here with $40. That's all I had. That's it. That's it. Now I have almost everything a man deserves. Right? And I'm sitting here, be your friend, well, in the public eye, so that guy is a celebrity. Oh, I'm not a celebrity, but I behave like a celebrity. I never argue with it. I never argue with a restaurant waiter or whoever. Mm-hmm. I never do because I'm kind of like regulated, something like that. Okay, now back to the story though. What makes me? American dream,
Yeah.
right? And what makes the commander? American dreams, right? Take Shahini, Mr. Shahini, for example. You know why I respect him a lot, this much? Last time we were on the show, we were talking about homeless. He cried over that issue. When I saw that tear in the man's eye, I know this is the handle I can hold on to this man. I can trust him, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, now, shall we please, sir, check with our commander about his take? Because he's running for Congress.
Definitely.
Okay.
That's what he's here.
And he's representing 29th district, right?
Correct.
Okay. That's a big district. Okay. You're running for Congress anyway. So, and what's your take towards the DACA Dreamer issue, please?
Jack, I think you said it well, and Chris, you're clearly, shares a lot of the things that I do, as you both do. When we're talking about DACA, we're talking about people's lives, people's innocence. When they were brought here as children, they had no say, they had no choice. It's the only country they have known. It is the only place they call home. This is where they went to school, this is where they work, this is everything to them. Granted, they weren't born here, but this is all they know how to call home. So it's immoral, unethical, it's not illegal, but it should be illegal for us to even consider sending them to a place that they don't know.
All right, all right. I want to borrow those two words, immoral and illegal. Yeah, I like these two words, right? To give it a definition, because we're really standing at the verge between humanity and cruelty. In this between, right? Okay. Now, my dear audience, today, once again, in the celebration of a Chinese New Year, all immigrants do. Oh, my native-born Americans friends, they do the same thing because influence of me. Anyway, not me, us. All right, good. So we are talking about, once again, the dreamer / DACA subject. However, joined by a glorious man, Honorable Commander Shamans.
Thank you.
For 25 years of glorious service to the U.S. Navy, to which I salute. And with him, my friend Chris Shahinian, former candidate for California Senate. Together, we'll take a little break. When we come back, we'll dig into the issue to find out the word humanity and morality. And now, the other side, we're talking about cruelty.
Yes.
Right? All right, stay with us. We'll be right back, please. Hello, dear friends, lovely ladies and gentlemen, my dear fellow Americans. Welcome back to the show, Jack Chow on the East West Show with GNE TV. Once again, we're talking about the DACA issue and the Dreamer issue. Why are we talking about that? Because the New Year is coming. And New Year is coming. The Chinese New Year stands for diversity, stands for the American understanding, the American tolerance for diversity. We're talking about we're a nation got together by the call of the great lady of Statue of Liberty, say, give them to me. All your poor, your huddled messes, yearning for free, breathing for free, give them your, 10% tolls whatsoever, all to me. I raise my lamp beside the door. To that call, we're here. So, as a celebration, as a education, I would say, I have this show. Thanks to my friend Chris Shahinian, who together with me scheduled this show. And thank you, sir, for coming here, Commander Shaman of U.S. Navy, to share the common views without a previous checking. I didn't check about, are you a proactive or you oppose DACA? I didn't check with you, did I?
No.
I never even called you. Right. Coincidentally, we came to the same common ground. Why? How come? So I need you to explain to me, sir, please, if I may, like say, how you and I and Chris come to the common ground without checking.
Well, it's basically, I think, like minds and like backgrounds, we share common elements. And the element is we're all immigrants. And together, we've come here in different times, but we did come to this country because, as you mentioned, this is a land of opportunity. Lady Liberty calls for, give me all your poor, give me the underprivileged.
Land of the free, home of the brave.
Absolutely.
As the song goes.
Yes. Absolutely.
Beautifully, right? Written.
Beautiful.
I mean written, not done. Yet. Hard to done, right? Hard to get it done.
Yes.
Very good.
You know, we always before we came to America. We always knew that the dream of coming to America, and when we heard about America, was the streets were made out of gold. Now, to be frank, when I did come and I looked at the streets, they weren't made out of gold.
Concrete.
But years later, it became really clear what streets of gold really means. It means land of opportunity.
Yes.
It means land where you work, you accomplish, you are recognized for your achievements. Many places around the world, we don't have that opportunity.
What
So we
turned
had
the
that here.
asphalt into gold? It is the name of America. It is USA, the 3 letters. It is American value, right?
People,
It's
American
American
people,
value.
hardworking
that
people, yes.
made it the land of the free, home of the brave, like that kind of thing.
Well, it sounds
right
like
now,
the Marine Corps hymn now.
I need your status quo, please.
Well, number one, I want to congratulate our Chinese American Chingguan Kai Lu. Happy New Year, and Chinese people all over the world that watch these people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I knew you. I know you practice, right? But you got to still improve it. 新年快乐.
Chingguan Kai Lu. Is
Good.
that right? There you go.
That's better.
Xinguang.
Okay, very
Yeah,
good.
I'll get
Very
this done
good.
too.
I think I want to thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you.
We are talking about very serious issue, and this DACA issue, it's not isolated one issue about 1 million young people that they came to the United States when they were children. This is about our value as a United States people. Today in the Senate floor, actually yesterday, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell opened the floor for discussion about immigration, and 97 senators voted yes for discussion for this debate. Only one senator from Texas, Ted Cruz, he opposed, said no to discuss this immigration. This immigration issue is very, very serious
Not
issue.
even to discuss.
Not even discuss. So how he's narrow-minded senator that he doesn't want to even discuss this issue in the floor. He doesn't care about people. He doesn't care about 1 million people. He cares about him and his circle that, they're very far-right
Probably
people.
the anger of losing the campaign still there.
Definitely true.
Well said.
Definitely true. But today, what is happening yesterday and today, there's many ideas floating in the Senate floor. And some of them are far right, some of them far left, and it is scary discussions going on. It's very scary if you listen some of the senators' proposal. They want these children to be out. Some of them, they want their parents to be out. Some of them, they don't even care who get out. They want 12 million people out. That's very scary people there in the Senate, but they're not exposing that. But this deal, opening the floor, Mitch McConnell, came on January when the government was going to shut down. We had 2 shutdown for government shutdown. Democrat reached out to White House and Republican. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer went to Trump office. He offered him even for the support of DACA, even he offered $19 billion for a wall that, Trump's dream to put a wall. He even offered that, some kind of, but he got refused. But luckily, a couple of weeks ago, Senate Majority Leader and Chuck Schumer, Mitch McConnell, they come with an agreement with Paul Ryan, House Majority Leader, that we need to discuss this open floor. Let's pass the budget. That's why we have a budget. Let's not shut down the government. Let's move on forward. Now, today, this week, we have 4 days left. They're going to discuss the issue that's been hanging over us for years, immigration reform, which like many senators, they fight to have immigration reform. But in this short time, there's a lot of things need to be done. And Senator Graham offered one of his proposals. I want to just say a few proposals that let's give this dreamers path to the citizenship. Same time, some kind of border security money to satisfy the White House request, Donald Trump
for the wall.
and Republican. And Senator McCain from Arizona proposed the same thing, Dreamers to citizenship, but no wall. So just look at the differences.
Was that from McCain? John
McCain, yes.
Oh.
And I like his proposal. So he's not playing McCain, even though Republican, he's not playing with people's life. That's what I like, because McCain, like Joe Shamat,
Okay.
he served our country.
Yeah.
He knows what's right.
Okay, what you said basically describes the status quo right now, all right? And I would like to check with the candidate for Congress, Commander Shem, his take, all right? Sir, let me seriously ask you, do you think the DACA problem and the wall issue are different things? They are orange and an apple. Do you think so? Because there are people that have that kind of a take, please.
There are, of course, different opinions on this, and I just want to congratulate Chris for coming up with updates on what the Senate is
that's
doing.
well done study.
To me, one of the issues that's clearly is very, very important is to open the dialogue to get things moving. Because I remember years ago, another Navy officer, friend of mine, who later became President of the United States in the 1980s, if you could recall, Jimmy Carter. At that time, we had the issue of immigration, and he granted mass amnesty. A lot of people became citizens.
Yes.
And since that time to this time, we have not really had a cohesive, real, genuine immigration policy. And so when we talk about that, to me, first step is, like Chris brought out, the Senate started talking about it. And now the House, which is very, very conservative, also agreed to talk about it. So we have to resolve issues, you have to identify the issues and talk about it. And we have to remember, we're all Americans, we all love America, and most importantly, we're, like Mr. Jack said, we're an ethical, we're a moral society that embraces immigrants, because we all are immigrants. It may be not us personally, but our parents or grandparents. This country was built on immigration. It's the foundation of who we are. We left the countries that we came from our forefathers in 1776 till now, to find a better life for us and our children.
Exactly.
So we have to work together to find common solutions. Not one side is not going to get 100%, the other side is not going to get 100%.
All right.
But
That
let's
sounds
get
a
together
very
and
healthy
talk
position.
and get it fixed.
I like your analysis. Thank
you.
To wrap up this segment, I want to lay the subject or the difference of a discussion when we come back for next segment, though. I'm talking about the problem of DACA or Dreamer whatsoever was a leftover accumulated by several presidencies. It's nobody's fault, it's everybody's fault. Like that kind of thing. Now you got to deal with it. Like what? Like a cancer here, for example. I'm very sorry that I picked the word, but I really meant well, right? It is accumulation over time. We got to deal with it. We got to deal with it. We got to see a doctor for it, or otherwise we die because of that, like before it's too late. And the wall is another issue. It takes care of the future, right? Do we not need to do a wall to take care of future? Those are the questions or subject that we come back, we want to discuss. Shall we, please?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Hello, my dear friends, my lovely audiences. Welcome back to the show, my dear fellow Americans. We are at a critical moment because we want to decide, we want to make a decision that were related to 800,000, almost 1 million young people, and that their parents, if they're lucky, they have both parents there, and you're talking about 3 times of that number. Right now, well, we always say a spade is spade. We all say orange is orange, apple is apple. However, in practice, in the day-to-day life, especially in our politics, congressional politics, sometimes we just mix them. We make juice out of them. We can't tell which is which. So are they still making juice? They are there at this very moment. Okay, in the discussion with the critical, at this critical moment with the issue of DACA and Dreamer versus the wall issue, I have my friend Chris Shahinian and former candidate for California Senate. By the way, you want to consider somewhere, do it again.
Definitely.
Right? You
I'm
have
getting
me.
it.
I'm
2020.
in, right?
2020.
2020. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, very
God
good.
willing.
And he's also now an activist. And most importantly, he's a man of heart. He has a heart bigger than a body, in my eye. All right. For that, I respect a lot. So, to my right, my dear friend, Honorable Commander, Navy Commander of U.S., Mr. Shaman.
Thank you.
Mr. Shaman, Shamas, has a glorious service for 25 years to this country where he immigrated to.
Yes.
There he found himself from an orphan, right, to an U.S. commander. What a difference. You tell me. Is it a difference like, say, here to Mars? Probably.
Well,
Probably.
close, yes.
With the fastest
Yes.
the rocket, it will take about 3.6 years. And I checked about that, right? Okay, anyway. So now, to the issue, like I said at the end of the last segment, they are separate issues.
Yeah.
Do you agree with me, sir, please?
Oh, absolutely. I think if you identify as issues on an individual and their own uniqueness, you can properly form solutions to address those. When you try to mix too many things up, you end up really not solving anything and just,
Making juice.
like Jack said, making juice. So we've got to keep apple juice separate, orange juice separate, and pear juice, if you make juice from pears, separate.
Yes.
Or mango juice.
And
there
do
you
you
go.
agree with me that they are separate issues?
Let me explain you. We're talking about this issue. Two parties are fighting to get their share. An immigration wall issue came, border issue came when Trump was, the day he announced his candidacy, he attacked all the immigrants, he attacked Mexican, he attacked, South Americans that, they crossing, they're giving illegal. So from day one, to grab his audience, so Trump start addressing those kind of issue, wall. And some of the Republicans...
Excuse me, hold on one second. I tend to go a technical analysis of the definition of these two issues so that we separate them and later we come back to see how everybody else, including Trump, handles it.
Okay,
how about that?
Of course.
So do you not agree with me
of course.
that they are separate issues?
Very, very separate issue. And that's about our national security, securing border, which we have to have secure border. We can't, have
Of course, I
open border.
agree.
That's true.
I agree.
But this is nothing to do with these kids. They came here when they were toddlers. There's
All
nothing
right.
to do. This
Okay, good.
Completely. But because of the politics, they're mixing things together.
Yeah, sure. Commander Shamans just now mentioned that they are at no fault. They came here knowing nothing, right? They were a little kid. They had we have no say. It's a parent who brought them here. Okay, now to the parents. They came here illegally. However, staying here for that many years, from let's say 5 years old to all the way 12 or 16, they have paid their time already.
Yeah.
Right? They have paid for the punishment already. All right. So now, I agree. You give different route to the kid and to the parents. You can make the parents make it a little harder to the parents or so ever. Of course, I don't want to kick them out. Do you think so, Commander?
I think you really articulated it very well because they are, again, like we're talking about oranges and apples, there are two different issues. The parents willingly came knowing they're violating the law. The children had no choice. So the approach has to be different for the children as it is for the parents. I agree with Chris and I agree with you that the children must have must have a route for citizenship.
Must have.
Absolutely. It's
Must
the only
have.
country they know. It's the only place they know they call home. And that is unethical, immoral for us to give them anything less than that.
Oh, very
Parents, different story. We'll address that at another further down. But for the children, should be unquestionable.
good. All right, very
Citizenship, citizenship,
good.
citizenship.
Very well said.
period.
That's a very sounding statement. Okay, now back to you. I would like to find out from you what each party is doing and what is Trump doing towards this issue. DACA issue, forget war.
Okay.
We'll talk about war later. Yeah.
Okay, for the DACA issue, Democrat, they want these kids to stay here. They want to have their driver license. They want to have, you know, as American Dreamer, continue, because some of the DACAs are in army.
Yes.
And the, two Filipino guys, they served army for 4 years. Now, after March 5, they're going to be deported. Just imagine. Just imagine.
We're about to kick them out.
I mean, just imagine, you know. So these kids, you know, they grew up here as an American. All they know American flag. They serve this country. They protect our borders. All of a sudden, you know what? You're not American enough. We're going to kick you out because of, you know, because of silly, you know, political game that, you know, it's going on in Senate floor and Washington D.C. now. What is happening in Washington D.C.
That's
is
very,
silly.
very
Yeah.
unhumane.
Yeah, it's a fight.
Inhumane.
The
I'm
fight
sorry.
between two party, it's going on because Democrat was upset and the Republican president that we have now, he doesn't have a clue, honestly, about humanity. That's why some of the senators, Republican, rally around the senator, the president and White House to come up with these ridiculous ideas.
Speaking of Trump, though, I believe that Trump is improving himself on this issue. Do you see the symptom or the sign that Trump is improving, please, sir?
I think it's a very astute observation, Jack. You pointed out something a lot of people are missing. He has come from the extreme ideological left where he said absolutely none. Now to even his proposal just recently was over 1.8 million he's agreeing. So to me, like Chris brought out earlier, we're starting to talk. The way to solve solutions is talking. One side's not going to get everything, the other side's not going to get everything, but we have to talk to solve it. So one of the things that I want to point out too, the First Lady is an immigrant.
All right. Okay.
The First Lady is an immigrant. So, you know, when you're talking about immigration, we're talking about DACA, we're talking about people becoming American citizens. These people, these kids that came here with no choice of their own should have the full opportunity to become U.S. citizens. Whereas other people that came out, the adults, they knew there was a willful intent. They had a specific purpose to come and to do that. So citizenship, and I think Trump is probably starting to realize, and I think Melania, the First Lady, is probably biting his ear and telling him, look, I'm an immigrant too. You have to understand we're all people.
Be nice, please be nice.
Back off a little bit and come around.
To fellow immigrants,
Yes.
something like that,
Yes.
all right?
Yes.
Chris, I like your update of and or summary of where everybody is, and I especially like what Commander Shaman has just mentioned, that even Donald Trump himself is improving, right?
Yes.
Okay, now
see for that.
all we need is a little push
Yes.
to him and say, hey, please, please. Or sometime, you know what? You know why we give baby a pacifier? we encourage them not to cry. Let's say, all right, come on, stop crying. Here's your pacifier, something like that kind of thing, right?
Yes.
Okay, now, my dear friends, with the good people, with the like-minded people, time goes faster than I thought. Relativity. All right, good. And let's take a very short moment out. When we come back, we'll find out the other issue, the war. Stay with us, please. Hello, dear friends, my lovely audience, my dear fellow Americans, ladies and gentlemen. Be you a mom, be you a dad, be you the kid, yourself. And this is a talk about you, about yourself, about American future. America is America because America is America. There's no doubt, right? If anybody, if anything that shakes the foundation that USA lays upon, you are the most criminal of the global earth. That's my take, all right? Today in the discussion about DACA / streamer / USA, why do I put the three words together as the subject, the title for today? Because they are the ones that really together speak the value of USA, something like that. With me, my friend Chris Shahinian, a dear friend who I respect like a brother, and he has a beautiful set of mind. He's got a heart, like I said, quote unquote, bigger than his body. I respect a lot. And there is something I always adore. My mother told me when I was little, right? So when you're a grown-up man, whoever can give you his or her tear is the one you trust, because an indicator that they have a heart. With him, I had lots of shows. There are times I see moistened eyes, and I'm so touched.
And
I
you
know
too.
that he
Honestly,
and I
you too.
were on the same boat,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
With me also, to my glory, is my wonderful friend, Honorable Commander Shaman, Mr. Commander Shamans. He has 25 glorious years of service in the U.S. Navy. Himself, most importantly, himself is an immigrant.
Yeah.
His starting point was even lower than people who are immigrated here, legally or illegally, whoever. He came as often. He stayed in the orphanage in his country for 12 years when he came here. All right, good. So now he is a U.S. Navy commander. What a difference, like I said, right? Together, we're touching base with the issue, right? We promised to our audiences that we will come back, talk about the wall. The wall issue, wall. By definition, sir, what is yours to wall?
Well, a wall to me signifies stay out, and the other portion of the wall that I want to remind our audience is it means for the people that are in, you're also prisoners. So a wall works from both sides. You can't come in and you can't get out.
I like that.
So we have to think about wall that way. And then we'll start a new conversation now. Is the wall really the avenue that we want to pursue to address our immigration?
To you, sir, do we have on the global earth, when you recall in human history, a wall that functioned?
There's no wall will function.
Had functioned.
No way. But from time to time in the history, some kings, government, they think, if they put a wall, they prevent, from enemies coming in, out. And, we were talking about, China Wall.
Yeah.
We know about Berlin Wall. We know about now, between Palestinian and Israel Wall. And now we're talking about border, in the southern border. Shamefully we're talking. I call this a shame because if you look at our history, people know this country as a new world. And we had always welcoming spirit to people from outsider. That's make America great. Allowing people to come in, hardworking people coming in to build this country, to make the asphalt to gold. So now it's America start becoming a radical group that we call radicals in Islam. We have some radical group in the United States.
I agree.
Only American belong to them. No, America has evolved from 250 years to this point that we have to accept everybody. I should accept you as an equally American. I should accept, Joe as equal American. We're all American. There's no white, no black, no Asian. We are all one American. So we need to go to that path. What's happening now, putting this wall, is ridiculous, shameful in our history. We are welcoming country. We cannot do this. So look at the north border. You can cross to Canada walking for any. We have in New York a library. One entrance is Canada, one entrance United States. So we cannot allow this.
Exactly. We can't afford doing that,
No.
right? I exactly like Commander Sharma's. His definition is almost a poem. It's a poetic language. It is divider and it is imprisonment. Am I right?
Absolutely.
So it does the
Well
same
said.
thing.
Well
And
said.
Mr. Shahinin tells people that no wall had worked. I can say China had a wall 2,000 years ago, which never worked because it never prevented China from being invaded, right?
Yeah.
And Berlin had a wall. It separated people. People get killed at the wall, whatsoever. The intruders, whoever, quote unquote, right?
Yeah.
And at the court, once after the wall was torn down, there was one court with the defendant. It was the soldier, the last soldier, who shot the last one dead.
Yes.
You know what? And his defense, or including the attorney, was that he was following orders, right? Okay. Now, you know what the judge says? The judge says, to shoot is your part, to follow the order, but it is in your hand to miss. Can you miss? Now, that says exactly the thing. Even the judge say that. Now that wall is no longer there, and no longer there. Okay, the Palestinian-Israel wall still there. Did it work? Never. Okay, the North and South Korea war, there's no physical wall, but a wall there, literally, never worked, and they are negotiating now.
Yeah.
So now at this very moment, when all world going down, we are erecting a wall. A joke.
Yeah.
What's your take,
it's
sir?
Unacceptable.
I think you summarized it very well, but clearly there is another issue we have to discuss, and that is security, national security.
Mm-hmm.
We don't leave our home and not close the door,
Okay.
but we don't put a wall to say somebody can't come in. So when we're talking about national security, there are a lot of different ways that we can address border security without the physical barrier. As I said before, it prevents people from coming in, but it also imprisons people on the other side. It's ugly, it's inhumane, it's unjust. We have to address it in a different way. National security is very clearly important for us, particularly what's going on in the world today. As a military person, I know and I appreciate that we have to have security. But we have to address security in a fashion that is reflective of who we are as Americans. We're a welcoming country. We're a land of immigrants. We're a land of equality. We're a land of free speech and free open communication with each other. That's what makes America great, and we should not compromise our values for a political issue that will divide us.
Thank you very much, sir. I need to check with you one more thing. Do you think, or am I right if I say, if the war happens anywhere else, it might be a different issue. It happens in between United States. When it happens in between United States and Mexico, we really have to consider a little bit of history, shall we? Or have we? Right?
I'm sorry I'm chuckling, but you are bringing up an interesting and a very, very important part.
California did not become a state of the United States until 1851.
Yes. And we have to remember, California and Texas were Mexican territories. They were not American territories. So a lot of people,
California,
Where from
Arizona,
there?
New
All of them
Mexico,
were.
all the way to Houston. I mean,
Yes.
to Texas.
Well, Louisiana, just we go a little bit back, well, we just bought
Well,
Louisiana, all this
Louisiana we
territory
bought.
from 1811. So
We bought
all
from
the
France.
Southland,
Jefferson.
all the Southland, west
Yes.
of water belonged to Mexico. All right, their ancestors were there. They were buried there,
Yes.
and then once you won the war, you took the land and you built a wall. That's mine. Do you think we really have to consider it a bit? Okay, now, a good reminder. I want to say, I'm very sorry, sir, for this insertion, but I feel it's necessary. Go see the movie Hostiles.
okay.
Oh,
Hostile. It gives you the history of older time, Asian time, whatever, long ago, antedate the time when the Europeans came, they pushed the Indians way to the west, and along the road they kill. Most cruel killing. They kill, hang on the tree, some stuff like that. And the killing created a hatred, and the hatred goes on and on and on and on. They're killing each other back and forth. Okay, why? Because it's their land. Am I right?
That's absolutely right. Absolutely right. I think.
Sir, now that you are running, you will be a future congressman. Be a good one, please. Once you take office, I'm going to ask you. So I'm asking you now. How do you want to promote your concept to get the job done, please, sir?
Thank you for your really astute observation that you mentioned earlier. But I also want to thank you for your question, because I think it's important for
Please.
people to understand why it's important for you to be involved in the political process, from registering to vote and voting, because as today's discussion reflects, we must send ethical and moral people that reflect our values to the United States Congress, so they can take action, they can do legislation, they can start dialogue to resolve the issues on a moral basis, on an American values basis,
Yes.
not strictly on a partisan basis. Look, when I took the oath and I became an officer in the United States Navy, I took the oath to defend the Constitution of the United States of America. I did not take it to defend a Republican or a Democrat or Libertarian or any other party. I took it to defend the Constitution of the United States. And that's what we all must go back and focus. America is the land of the free, the land of the brave, the land of open arms to our fellow citizens and our fellow immigrants. That's the value that we need to go back to and to reflect in the way we do, and we communicate with each other and do the proper legislation.
That's very well said. But what is more concerned at this moment is that how you want to mingle with all the partisan fight or so on and so forth, differences. Like he says, just like the card, they are ugly cards.
Yes. And this is one of the things that actually helped me get promoted in the military at a very, very fast pace, from going and enlisted as E1 as a commander. Because one of the things that I excel at, and that is to help people identify the issues that they agree on and build on those issues so that we can overcome the differences. Unfortunately, today, you don't have a group on one side or the other side that has served or is a retired military person who has, and we learned in the military, we don't leave a person behind in battle. We always go back and get every American out. We don't leave a soldier behind. These kids, these DACAs, these dreamers, this is all the home they know, and we have to make sure that they're
abandon
included.
them.
We will not abandon them.
We want to
must
abandon them.
include.
We are
will not.
abandoning them. That's what exactly happening.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Thank you, sir. And I'm very sorry we're over time. And I will talk to my editor to cut myself off to keep you there. And the last thing, I will check about your campaign website, please, sir.
www.joe.shamas, SHAMMAS.com.
All right. I believe all my audience have heard that, and you can see on the big screen, and well, the same thing. Joe, www.joe.shamas, SHAMMAS, gmail.com.
Correct.
Right. Good. Very good. So to Chris, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Happy New Year.
Thank you for your beautiful mindset. And sir, also thank you for your beautiful, even more beautiful mindset. And thank you for your service to this country, who we all live up to, right? Okay. And also thank you for your determination of running for Congress. I believe you will make some difference, right? So here is the address. So you check all the information online. So thank you very much, my dear audiences. We'll see you next time. By the way, shall we? Happy New Year,
Happy New
join
Year.
me.
Happy
All
New
right,
Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New
Good.
New Year.